Hey, what's happening everyone? This is XCI here, and today we are in my BMW 3 Series. I have a 320D diesel. It's a manual transmission, and today what we want to do is we want to talk about this gauge right here. For those of you all who don't know, this is the new Luffy XF Revolution OBD2 gauge. And the main reason that I got this gauge is, for those of you all who didn't know, BMWs do not come with a water temperature gauge. Coolant temperature, I mean. It does have a oil temperature gauge, but not coolant temperature, and being from the Caribbean, that was very important to me. So I saw this gauge online. It's on Amazon as well as AliExpress, and I decided to get it. Now, it was both available in Amazon as well as on AliExpress, but I paid 91 US for it on AliExpress, and despite the very long delivery time, I was very happy with the experience. I saved about 50 or 60 US because Amazon had it for I think 150 US dollars. I did pay extra to have it cleared in my country, but I think it was a steal of a deal, and the gauge works very well, so I had no issues with that. So as we move closer to the gauge now, you can see that we get a very nice metal mounting bracket that has cutouts in it, and these cutouts help the mounting bracket conform to the shape of your dashboard. 3M tape was provided to help it attach to the dashboard, but I actually use a stronger 3M equivalent, and I have no issues with it moving while driving. There is also an option to get a shift light, as you see here, and this was only about 9 extra US dollars. I decided not to cheap out, and believe me, it is well worth getting. So the buttons for this unit is actually located behind it. There are 3. I'm going to try to show it right now, and it might actually be a little difficult, so I will insert a picture where you'll see the top is an up button, the middle is the menu or select button, and below is a down button. And using these, you cycle through the menu and you make changes to the unit, as I will go in further later on in the video. Next, let me show you how I connected this gauge. In my right hand drive BMW, the OBD port is shown as seen here. So what I had to do was, I removed the weather stripping, as you will see me doing, and then I fed the cable from the OBD port area below the plastic towards where the weather stripping was removed. After that, I pulled everything through, I connected the port, and then I routed the wire up along the door sill until you see it coming into view here right next to the air condition vent. And then I tucked it below the air condition vent, routing it along it, then below the dashboard console, and then back up again between the trim of the dashboard to connect to the gauge, as you see here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to fix this weather stripping back and close this door, and now we're going to have our start up of the car and see how this gauge powers up. Alright, so let me just get everything started here. Depress the clutch, press the start button, and we should be good to go. There you see it coming on. We have a nice welcome there. So the Luffy XF Revolution gauge is a 3.5 inch TFT high definition gauge. It looks very nice. All these parameters that you see here are fully customizable, but the customization is actually dependent on the type of car that you have. So as you can see here, you have your tachometer, you have a boost pressure reading in the middle of that, you have your car brand that can be displayed at the center of the dial, and each one of these parameters can also be changed, and we'll go into each one a little later on in the video. Now, there are many parameters that the Luffy XF Revolution shows, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert pictures here that I took from Amazon that really explains all the different parameters that are shown that can be read by the gauge depending on your vehicle, and some things to expect and not expect from the gauge. So now what we're going to do, we're going to cycle through quickly the other display screens that come with the gauge. There are 5 different display screens that come with the Luvi XF Revolution. All have its own merits, so let's do that now. So first, to begin with, you cycle by pressing either the up or the down button. So as you can see here, I have as my dial my boost pressure reading or my intake manifold pressure reading. I also have on the top right hand side the fuel rail pressure, engine loading percent, water temperature, and the tachometer. This next display screen is very busy and it has a load of parameters that you can set to get a wealth of information when driving or even when tracking the car. And as you can tell, all these readings, the numbers, they are very crisp, they are very bright. I'm sure my camera is not doing justice to how good this gauge really looks in person. This here again is another interface with a more linear tachometer shown at the top there, and as you rev you can see the gauge is moving. There is some delay in terms of responsiveness of the gauge to the normal analog, but it's insignificant. And now this is the last interface that I'm going to show you. As you can see from here, there is a slight delay when I compare the normal analog tachometer to the gauge. But it's really very difficult to appreciate in real life. Here we are back to the first screen that was shown before. So that is a brief rundown on how this gauge looks, the different faces, and what to expect if you purchase it. What I intend to do is in follow-up videos, I would go through the menu and how we set each parameter, each setting, how to set warning lights, how we would also set warning levels, shift lights, RPM signals, speed warnings, a whole host of different options that we can set and use on this gauge. Even the RPM can be color coded for, red line, amber to indicate when to shift. It's really a very versatile, customizable gauge. So what I'll do now, I'll actually leave you guys with some indication of how the LED lamps work, how the shift light work, as well as some short clips that I'll insert to show the gauge in real life. So if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, give me a like, share it. I'm sure there's a lot of people looking for OBD2 gauges. It's a plug and play device and you honestly would not go wrong with it. So share it to all your friends and see you in the next video. You guys take care. Bye.